Good afternoon, teachers, and welcome to this first episode of Conversations with Administration. And this is coming as a result of the teacher data conferences that we conducted on last week, where many of you asked for additional support, ideas, and strategies as it relates to moving those students that are not progressing. So I'm leading off, and I'll be followed by Mr. Williams, Ms. Lang, and Ms. Reyes, who will all be sharing different strategies, again, to help move those stagnant students. I'd like to first start off by saying that it is of the utmost importance to identify the student's specific area of weakness, what skills they are struggling with. I think there is a misconception with some of you where you feel like just because you're pulling them in a small group to your table and you're working with them either one-on-one or in a group of 2 to 3, that constitutes the small group. You're working with them on the same worksheet or the same lesson or activity that the whole group is doing, but because you have them in a smaller setting, you feel like that's the small group and that is what should help them to grow. As we learned at a Region 4 training last week, class size and just the number to student to teacher ratio does not always get the student over the hump. You have to pinpoint the specific skill where the student is weak and then target or select the strategies that target that skill. And that may be why some of you are struggling or feeling like your students are not moving, because you are not selecting these strategies that target those specific skills. So we want to start off with 12 strategies to help struggling readers improve reading comprehension. What I will be sharing is focusing on comprehension. So one strategy is to help the students find books that they like and that interest them. Have the students read aloud. Skim the headings of the text. Look at the text features first. Reread sections that are confusing. Use a ruler or have them point from word to word. Sometimes students are struggling with fluency or they're omitting words, which then can impact their comprehension of the story. Have them write down words they don't know. Discuss what the student has just read. Have them paraphrase in their own words. Recap and summarize the main points. All of this will help build and strengthen their ability to comprehend what they are reading. And sometimes you have to take it in segments and show and teach the student how to do it in small parts before you have them or test them their knowledge of the entire text. Also, within your literacy binder that you received, your guided reading binder, there were additional materials and templates that have strategies already listed there, one of which is the Literacy Cafe menu. And on that chart that is in the binder, it talks about comprehension. And then it lists strategies that can be used: checking for understanding, back up and reread, monitor and fix up, retell the story, use prior knowledge, help the students make connections to the text. Ask questions throughout the reading process. Have them make predictions and inferences. Have them support what they are inferring or predicting by finding the evidence within the text. Summarize as they read. Use main idea and supporting details to determine the importance. Recognize the literacy elements such as the genre, plot, character, setting, problem, resolution, and theme. Recognize and explain the cause and effect of the relationships of the characters, and compare and contrast within and between texts. So again, those are additional strategies that are available to you. Of course, you can also go online to the TPRI online resource, and on there you can also find a list of strategies. And again, if we're focusing on comprehension, and on the TPRI site, it's listed by skill. So again, I'm focusing on comprehension. Here are additional strategies: structured reading, retelling, using a KWL chart, a prediction chart, click and clunk, discussion guide, say something. And when you go to the site and you click on these options, they will give you the details and other resources to actually use to implement the strategy. Within the pre-referral intervention manual that we as administrators reference and the counselors when they're conducting the care team meetings is another place that we find and pull strategies. So when you come to your care team meetings, this is what should be being discussed with you in those meetings. Student has difficulty comprehending what he or she reads. Here's a list of additional strategies that you could implement and use in the classroom, and these would be shared again with you in the care team. For example, make certain the student's hearing has recently been checked. Make certain the student is reading material on his or her level. Teach the student to use context clues. Have the student read ahead on a subject to be discussed in class, so like pre-reading. Outlining the reading. Arrange for a peer who demonstrates good comprehension skills to read with the students, so like a peer tutor or peer buddy. Maintain mobility in the classroom in order to frequently be near the student to provide reading assistance. Teach the student to draw from personal learning experiences. Identify main points. So I'm just skimming through a few. Reduce the emphasis on competition. In other words, making the student feel comfortable about reading. And that will go back to finding texts that interest them. Have the student identify one word each day that they do not understand. Vocabulary building. Make certain the student learns the meanings of the word. Have the student write notes, and that goes back to like the reader's response journal. So all of these are additional strategies that can be used to build and strengthen comprehension. On my principal spotlight at the bottom, I also share a lead forward strategy with you as teachers every week. So all of these are resources that are available to you. Some of them you can access online yourself. Some of them you feel free to come to our offices to check out. We just want to make you aware of what's out there, and then so you will know what you can ask for. So if you have any questions, we're always available and here to assist you, but hopefully this gives you a good start.